Hello, lovely soul, and welcome to this behind the scenes video. It's part of my behind the scenes series where I take you behind the scenes of that week's angel message and card interpretation, and I share something that I may have said in that interpretation or thoughts or ideas that were going on in my head. So I do take you behind the scenes. This week we were looking at the deck Mists of Avalon Oracle by Rose and Sarah. And the card that we were considering is this one, Cerridwen. And the theme behind this behind the scenes video is about using more than one deck. When I teach students who wish to read for others, whether it's family or friends or clients, I teach them to have one working deck, one deck that they use for all their readings beyond themselves. Because you work through each card of that working deck, you get to know that deck inside out. You get to know all the colours, the symbols, the meanings of the cards, so that whenever you turn a card over, there's no way you don't know anything about that card. And as a result, you can just let your intuition flow. Whilst it's important, I believe, to have one working deck whenever you're working with other people and giving readings to other people, I also believe it's important to have more than one deck, numerous decks perhaps, of different varieties covering different themes. For example, this is about Avalon, about Arthur, and about the history of that story, with Cerridwen being the Welsh goddess or one of the witches in the story. You can get decks about ascended masters, about archangels, about dragons, about fairies, about unicorns. You can get decks on nearly anything and everything you can think of. And when you buy a deck that you're attracted to, that you enjoy, you learn about another aspect. You learn about another theme. You learn about how you can bring that aspect of a story, a fairy tale, of dragons or whatever, into your life and into the life of others. It doesn't mean to say that whenever you are reading cards for other people, you just randomly pick a deck, because you won't necessarily get the best reading by doing that. Because if you receive a card, if I had chosen this deck for a client and turned this card over, I wouldn't have known who Cerridwen was without doing a bit of research. And I can't sit there in front of the client and do my research or read the guidebook or look up Google. So decks, having other decks, are for your own benefit, to learn more about different themes, whether it's fairy tales, fairies, dragons, unicorns, ascended masters, gods and goddesses, archangels, whatever the theme may be, because all that knowledge is going into your head and you can bring that into your readings. You may find ways that you may turn over a card and all of a sudden you're thinking, do you know what? I can remember a card in another deck called Cerridwen, and I can remember the story of Cerridwen, and you can bring aspects of that into your message that you're passing on to a client whenever you read for clients. So whilst I advocate having one working deck whenever you work with clients, whether it's friends, family, or paying clients, I also advocate having more than one deck in your life so that you can expand your knowledge. You can learn and grow in different areas, because those areas may come into a reading someday.